This is Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
That's right. Coming up on the 4 o'clock hour, it is June 9th. My birthday. The show's birthday. Pretty ironic that we launched the show on my birthday a year ago today. On my 30th birthday, and now I'm 31.
Sounds like the equivalent of A.J. Brown writing on the wall, best player ever.
Well, and of course, I'm older than 31. 43 years old today.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, isn't that old? That's why, I was never a big birthday guy anyway. I was never the person who's like, oh, we got to celebrate my birthday. But I got to tell you, once you hit 40, does it really matter to, celebrate birthdays, Ricky?
Nope.
Yes, I think you guys should celebrate every
No,
year.
the answer's no. He didn't. By the way, I'm pretty sure you said Ricky.
Who?
I said Ricky, and you answered. He's
because I know that he's going to be negative Nelly. You guys
that's because you're too young.
Nelly. It's just
aging
not.
is a gift. You guys should be
That is
celebrate.
true. You should. You're right. Sylvanna's correct. You should.
What's the gift?
To be able to age. to be able to age.
Well, you age every day. You don't age every year.
Well,
you know what?
Can you clip that? You age every day. You don't age every year.
That's what I feel like.
You're always getting older. I'm older right now than I was 2 seconds ago.
Why are you such an ass to me? I don't care if it is your birthday. You just did that to me again.
So what do you like most about the show? What do you like least about the show?
Jerks.
Get your voice memos in. 610-632-0975. All right, we got Gimme More at 4 coming up now. And then we're going to get to what Ricky Bo pointed out last night on the crossover with John Kruk and Tom McCarthy about what Jim Salisbury does to his tomatoes. You're going to want to hear that. But first, a little Gimme More. Hit it, Sil.
Now Give Me More at 4 with Sylvanna.
Because you can never get enough.
So much to talk about today. First things first, we have to talk about the NBA Finals last night because it was crazy during, after, everything. But first, we'll start directly after the game. Not only for interviewing Wemby, is he just the full-on shot because he is so tall. But I personally love to relate when I can. I love to relate when I can to an NBA player.
It's absolutely not done. We're not even halfway. The hardest is still to come. It's midnight, man. Let's go.
Thank you, Victor. Bye.
You can hear De'Aaron Fox in the background literally stopping him mid-interview and saying, come on, man, it's midnight. Let's go. Dude,
gotta get to sleep.
You just came back, though. It's your first time winning in this series in the NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden. And he's cutting him off and saying, listen, I love my sleep, but...
Hey, they got a game tomorrow night.
I'm not going to lie. I don't blame him, not even a little bit. Get out of there.
It was literally directly after.
Yes, you do your interviews, you get it done in 5 minutes, then get out of here. Get out of there.
But as you bring up the NBA Finals.
Yeah, because we just need to talk about it in general.
It was late. When I've been yelling at Ricky for saying he's rooting for the Knicks, my reasoning for yelling at you has been not the players on the Knicks. I told you I would root for them. They're good guys. They're players you would love if they were on your team. It's the damn fans. And, man, did we see it on full display last night after the game in the streets of Manhattan. The Knicks fans are the lowest of the low. They should be absolutely embarrassed. What they did last night after that game is what the national media wants the Philly fans to be. Every single time national media talks about the city of Philadelphia, they act like we're what you saw last night. I have never seen a display like that in the city of Philadelphia. What the Knicks fans did last night was embarrassing. It was wrong. It was criminal. They're beating people up on the street. They're attacking Spurs fans unprovoked. Who the hell do you think you are? You look like scumbags out there. Stop. I think it was absolutely embarrassing, and the police couldn't even do anything about it. This is why you can't root for the damn Knicks. Their fan base is trash.
You summed it up very perfectly.
Absolutely absurd, though. Seriously, it's freaking dangerous out there.
It's disgusting. It's vile that you even have to worry about your safety leaving a game like that, completely unprovoked. I just don't know. I don't know where we're going. I don't even know what you can really say to people that believe that is even somewhat okay to even have those thoughts to do that. it's mind blowing to me. I think that your whole rant there really summed it up because it's
just
really
scroll
disgusting.
just scroll social media if you haven't seen it.
Just
Stop
be kind.
being idiots after games. You can't handle that your team loses one game and they're still in a driver's seat in the NBA Finals. What is going on with our world that you can't wear another team's jersey somewhere just because? What I mean, look. The Knicks fans go other places. There's no problems, but I'm sure it's not the same people.
Listen, it's okay, in my opinion, anyway. I think it's what's make sports fun. It's okay to heckle fans from other teams. Like, that's fun. Like, and do we cross the line sometimes in Philadelphia? Sure. But like heckling and doing different things, that's a part of it. It's a part of the sports world. It's a part of fandom. But what they were doing last night, it's just, come on.
No.
It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't see, like, you see it on social media, but really, it bothers me because the city of Philadelphia gets this national reputation of being this terrible fan base, and then you see stuff like that going on in New York, and like, where's the public outrage? Where is the national media coming out and talking about how disgusting Knicks fans are? If that was the city of Philadelphia, it'd be on the cover of every single damn news website. Anyway, you get me.
It's a double
upset.
standard. No, I know.
What else you got?
It's a very valid rant. All right, moving on, though, hopefully to try and brighten things up. We have to talk about the Brewers and the A's game last night. This was the first pitch, actually, for the Athletics.
First pitch, high drive to left. It's a Vegas bomb to tie the game in the first.
Talk about cashing in quickly.
Athletics playing in a Triple-A ballpark in Las Vegas against the Brewers. And boy, they had no clue what was coming. Do you know what happened in this game? There is so much. 29 combined runs, 11 combined home runs, 12 innings, 16 ABS challenges. The game was over 4 hours long.
God.
34 combined hits. It's the longest game this season, obviously. There were 14 pitchers combined that threw 444 pitches last night.
Wait, was this the first time they played in that ballpark this year?
Yeah, I believe it is the first time that they were actually playing in that
they've
one.
been playing in Sacramento.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I thought the Phillies game was long on Sunday.
Right?
What was that, like 3 hours? What was the Phillies game on Sunday, Ricky? You were doing pre and post.
No, I didn't end up doing it. It was
the days
White
blend
Sox.
together.
Yeah, it was like it's a little over 3 hours, I think. It was long. So wait, this game was how long?
It was the longest nine-inning
Over
game
4
this year.
hours. It was like 4 hours and almost 15 minutes.
Yeah, with a pitch clock, that seems impossible.
Insane. I just can't get over the fact, like, also, like, 14 pitchers for 444 pitches. That is so
12
many.
innings. In only 2 of the innings, there were no runs. In the 4th, there were none. In the 11th, there were none. Every other inning, there was at least 1 run scored.
absolutely insane.
All right, so there were 11 home runs, right, combined?
Yeah.
Do you know what the record is for the most home runs combined in a single game in Major League Baseball history?
I can't go much higher.
16.
I'm just going to say 15.
Now, I don't know if this is accurate because I got it from
AI.
We're talking about practice.
It says the most home runs combined in a single game is 13, set by the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies on, believe it or not, June 10th, 2019.
Wow, weird.
Tomorrow would be the 7-year anniversary of it. Is that true? That's the most ever?
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm expecting a couple more. But, I mean, like that was 12 innings. And that it seemed like really, I mean, playing in a AAA ballpark, this is just mind-boggling to me that
What,
this
is
was even
13?
possible. They juice those balls, Ricky?
I think they just have a small...
I think, from what I understand, I never played in Las Vegas. The ball absolutely flies there. Like, ridiculous. It's worse than Colorado, they say.
Interesting.
And they probably did not have a humidor there. They just probably said, here you go play a game in a minor league park that the ball flies out of. Because I guess Contreras, the catcher, there was a pop-up like over the shortstop, and it went out of the ballpark.
Yes.
And they were like, I can't believe it went out of the park.
Yes, I did see that as well. Now, Ricky, do you know what today marks for the Phillies? It's 3-year kind of anniversary, I guess, for the Phillies. I saw this on Twitter. Is it for the
Phillies or a player?
Phillies. It's. I don't think you're going to get it, but
so 2023.
I know what it is.
Is this the end of Joe Girardi?
Phillies tailgate put out today. I
saw it. I know what it is.
It is 3 years since the Phillies last hit a walk-off home run. They have the longest active walk-off home run drought in Major League Baseball.
Do you know who hit it 3 years ago, Ricky Bo?
Last walk-off, Rhys Hoskins?
No, it's actually the obvious one. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber. Last walk-off home run.
All right. Final story now. I just thought that this was funny. For the Browns, their guard, Joel Bitonio. Hopefully I said that correctly. I believe I did. He was doing his press conference and made a couple laughs on the way out.
I was drafted the same year as Johnny Manziel, and we actually roomed together. I learned some things not to do from him.
Can you imagine? Like, I actually would die to know what he saw.
Wow, with Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, like what an era.
I watched the.
Really was.
I watched the. Oh man, what's that?
Oh yes,
Netflix. Is it
something.
Untold or something?
Yes, I think it is that. I actually didn't watch that.
On Manziel, yeah, he was. What they did leading into that draft, his agent talked about how, like, Johnny Manziel was obviously battling alcohol issues and all that. They were trying to keep him sober as long as they possibly could for that draft. And he was like really struggling. And he's like, I can't go do this interview. And they basically tricked the Cleveland Browns into drafting Johnny Manziel. Like there was no team on the planet that should have drafted that kid at the time. It's a good documentary, though. They were trying to keep him sober as much as they could. He just, unfortunately, is he doing okay now? What's Manziel up to these days?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. I was just trying to wonder the same thing. I mean, I guess no news maybe is good news in that sense, especially with the documentary coming out recently. I would imagine that maybe.
Wait, he was in a fight the other day.
In a professional fight?
Yeah, it says May 24th, 2026. Johnny Manziel dominates in his MMA debut. Says he won't fight again.
He won't? Yes. His Instagram post, appreciate everyone that came out and supported the MMA debut. Big thank you, 1-0, and retiring undefeated.
Yeah. So watch Johnny football.
Retired undefeated.
Yeah,
what?
He won 1-0. That's what he just said for his MMA career. He did one fight and he was donezo.
Yeah.
Donezo. One and done.
But watch on Netflix the Untold Johnny football. It was very good. My wife and I actually watched it. She was entertained too. It's crazy. The whole story is just crazy.
Well, he's got ducklings. I'm kind of jealous about that.
All right, good stuff though. Let's get to Ricky Bo last night on the crossover. So after every Phillies game, they do a little crossover with the booth and the postgame crew. So you got John Kruk and Tom McCarthy, and they're talking to our own Ricky Bottalico, and here's what it sounded like.
And one other thing, I heard you talking about Jim Salisbury in the break. You wanted to know what he did today. Apparently, Jim said, I quote, he spanked his tomatoes.
Huh. All right, well, let's get off the air after that.
I have to Google that one just to see what that meant.
I don't want to know.
Well, there has to be.
I've been watching too much Love is Blind.
We're going to roll out from Toronto.
Thank God, and we're all getting fired.
Does that mean something?
Yes, it's a technique that you can get more tomatoes. So you take a little stick and you hit them, and it spreads around the pollen. The little flowers pollinate each other, and you get more tomatoes at the end.
How about that?
So
okay,
spank
the tomatoes.
It's actually a thing. You can look it up in the Farmer's Almanac.
Oh, I will.
All right, so the best part of that whole clip, Ricky, is Kruk thought you said something terrible. Like, he's like, all right, let's go. He thought you guys were going to get fired for it.
I didn't. I look, in the break, I have to say hi to them because I'm the one doing the crossover. And I say hi to them, and I could hear them talking. And I heard Kruk and T-Mac saying, wonder what Jim did. You know, what did Jim do today, do you think? You know, they're messing around. So I was like, okay, now we go into break, and they're like, all right, 45 seconds. And I look over at Jim and I was like, Jim, what did you do today? And he's like, I did gardening. You know, I had to spank the tomatoes. I said, all right. So I literally wrote it down. I said, Jim said he was spanking his tomatoes. And I don't know. The moment came to me and I just said it.
Yeah, so I did Google it because he's right. He said Jim Salisbury at the end of the clip.
It is a thing.
It is a real thing. It says spanking your tomatoes is a real tried and true gardening trick.
It just doesn't sound correct.
Why do we have to use spanking? Can't we use tapping?
Well, we didn't make it up. This is what they call it.
Oh, that would be good too. Let's tap the tomatoes.
Yeah, tap the tomatoes.
I think that's way better than spanking.
It says, give them a light tap or spank.
Yeah.
And it's
spanking the tomatoes.
There we go, tap.
It mimics the natural vibration of bees or wind. This agitation helps release the pollen inside the flower, and it guarantees successful self-pollination.
It's helping release something.
So who would have knew that? I didn't know Jim Salisbury had a green thumb.
Yeah, whatever, it worked.
You try to air out his dirty laundry.
Have you ever?
It was the way he said it that caught me, so I was like, I got to do this.
Wait,
have you ever spanked the tomato, Ricky, or no?
No.
All right, good stuff from the NBC Sports Philadelphia
Ricky,
broadcast last night.
Tell them what you told me when I connected you, and I was like, Ricky, why did you say that? Do you remember? We were talking about it, and you were like, yeah, I guess I don't think I should have said it.
No, I said, I don't know if I should have said it, but I did. I think at the time, I thought it was funny, so I just said it. I didn't think anything dirty like other people do, like Bill does. You notice Bill just laughed over there. I see him. He doesn't know that I see him. I saw him laugh. So,
I was laughing at Kruk's reaction to it.
The comment, the sound of the comment sounds bad, but it's not.
No, it's a tried and true method. So spank the tomato, and good things happen.
Can you ask him if it also applies to other herbs? I just planted some herbs.
Well, I don't know how you would spank the herb.
I'll ask him. I'll ask him if you could spank anything else.
What are you spanking it with? Are you using your hand?
I will ask him that too. He should be here, and he should be here shortly.
Yeah, we need to get to the bottom of this.
Are you using a stick?
I think you're using a stick.
At first, I thought a stick,
I would
but then
probably
I'm hearing
say a stick.
All right. So, this is what we really need to know from Jim Salisbury. Not a breakdown of what's going on with the Phillies.
I'll ask him what he spanks things with.
Yeah, we'll find out from Jim. All right, let's get back to the Eagles. We got Andrew DeCecco joining us at 5 o'clock after the first mandatory minicamp practice. But some of the players met with the media a brief time ago. Lane Johnson met with the media. So we're going to get to some of the things he said, because what we opened up the show with were the biggest questions facing the Philadelphia Eagles in 2026. And Ricky and I both said our biggest question is that offensive line and the health of that offensive line. A lot of people go to Sean Mannion as the offensive coordinator and Jalen Hurts and how he's going to adapt, how they're going to survive without A.J. Brown. But there's one thing, and I don't think people have forgotten about it as much, Ricky. It just has kind of taken a back seat to some of the other questions, is the new offensive line coach. Jeff Stoutland is no longer here. He left. You brought in a new run game coordinator. You brought in a new offensive line coach. And Lane Johnson, when he met with the media, he weighed in on what the loss of Jeff Stoutland meant to him. So we'll hear what Lane Johnson said about that. We'll hear what he said about the Sean Mannion offense. So we'll get to hear from our man Lane, who hopefully is going to have a healthy season this year. Coming up next, Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, if you're just joining us, today is the 1-year anniversary of the show. So we're asking for voice memos for We Hear You on what you like best and what you like least about Unfiltered. So get your voice memos into the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. You could also weigh in on the Philadelphia Eagles because they had mandatory minicamp today. And we opened up the show talking about some of the biggest questions facing the Eagles in 2026. And for Ricky and I, it has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. It has nothing to even do with Sean Mannion. Yeah, those are questions, but the biggest question for us is all about that offensive line. Is Lane Johnson healthy? Is Landon Dickerson healthy? Is Cam Jurgens healthy? And how is the new offensive line coach and new run game coordinator going to get these guys going? So that's our biggest questions, because when you look at the Eagles and the success that they've had in the last 5 seasons, making the playoffs every year, going to 2 Super Bowls, it's always been with a strong rushing attack outside of last year. They had a top 10 rushing attack the first 4 years of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Last year it drops to 18th, and you saw how much that offense struggled. Well, our man Lane Johnson, who we haven't heard from in quite some time, actually. I don't think he spoke last week at all.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has, right? I feel like we haven't heard from Lane.
So you say I never sang. I just sang you a little bar right.
Do you know who sings that song?
It's been a while since I
Stained.
Things up.
Stained.
By the way, my brother said happy birthday to you. My mother said happy birthday to you.
I have never met any of the Batalico family.
And
Neither have I.
I haven't met any of your family.
That's not true.
You've met my family.
I met Bridget. You're right.
Yeah, you met my wife.
You met my mom and my sister.
We've met Tommy.
Yeah, you've met Tommy as well.
We've met a lot of people.
Well, my family doesn't exactly live around here.
That is true.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Sil, we barely see Ricky, let alone his family.
Right.
I mean,
Honestly,
I haven't seen Ricky in 2 weeks.
I get out of here and I'm like,
All right, let's get
to the only reason you've been on for a year.
Let's go to
that's
Lane.
not nice.
Let's go to Lane Johnson.
Yeah, and you guys were being nice to me.
Let's go to Lane. So he was asked a bunch of questions today. Long press conference. We're going to play some relevant parts from it. So one of the first things he was asked is the difficulty of replacing a legend like Jeff Stoutland, especially to him and their relationship. Here's Lane Johnson.
But yeah, I mean, as far as replacing Stout, it's going to be hard to, replace that kind of guy in my life, being the mentor and just, my coach all these years. But, with how our system is now, there's a lot to learn. I really like Coach Cooper a lot. And so I think, hopefully our offense won't be as stagnant as what it was last year. We'll be able to evolve some.
Hopefully the offense won't be as stagnant as it was last year. That was a word that got used quite often when talking about the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles offense. And if he said that last year, which I think he actually did, everyone said, he's talking about Patullo. He's talking about Patullo. And maybe he was, but now you got this new offense and you got this new offensive line coach. I mean, Ricky, I know you didn't play football, but you played baseball for many, many years. If you had a pitching coach that you were really close with and now he gets replaced, is it hard to kind of accept the new guy, or is that just something that goes along with the business?
Goes along with the business. I mean, I couldn't even countless number of pitching coaches, to be honest with you. It was just year after year after year, you had a different pitching coach. Some of them wanted to change you completely. Others used to just want you to kind of throw your way through whatever you're doing, and they try to adjust to you. I like those. I like the ones that tried to adjust to you. And to be quite honest with you, at the end of my career, I did make a mistake, and I let a pitching coach change me, and it went to crap. And when I say that, I think I had a under 2 ERA in 2.5 months of relieving. Changed that up, and a month and a half later, I was released because of it.
Yeah, I would say that's not good.
Well, you try to change something like mechanically or change something on like the shape of your breaking pitches, and it doesn't go well, you know what happens? You get belted around the ballpark is what happens.
Yeah, so hopefully in this scenario, replacing Jeff Stoutland, and they are going to run a new style of offense, that they don't have that type of response, but it's going to be something that's positive, and like Lane said, where the offense isn't as stagnant. Now, one of the big issues, though, that a lot of people had was, all right, if Stoutland left, was that going to impact Lane Johnson's desire to keep playing? Because we weren't sure if Lane was going to retire this offseason, if he was going to come back. He was asked about that as well today at the press conference. Here's Lane on his decision to come back this year.
I thought I was having a really good season last year. And, there was nobody more disappointed than me not being able to come in and play to finish it out. So I didn't want to go out that way. As far as performance-wise, I felt like I was still performing the same as I always have. Just I had this foot injury. It was, I've been able to play through stuff throughout the years, but this was just something that it took time And so, and that's something that I didn't have at that point in the season. So, it was probably around February, March where I started feeling 100%. But it took some time for it to heal up. But yeah, I didn't want to go out on that note last year.
So he decides to come back, and he's not wrong. Like, when you go back before he got hurt, Lane still looked like Lane. Like, he was still a pretty dominant right tackle, and we were all hopeful, if you remember, that he was going to be healthy enough to play in that playoff game. Like, I remember being shocked that Lane Johnson didn't play against the 49ers. Like, I thought that they were keeping him out in weeks 18 just as a precautionary thing, and I'm thinking, all right, Lane's going to be ready to play against the 49ers, and then when he wasn't, that's a big loss. Like, I know AJ dropped a couple passes, and the defense didn't play like we were used to seeing them play, but who knows what the outcome of that game is if you have Lane.
Yeah, it's a lot different loss than people think. Anytime you lose an offensive lineman, it's like somebody else has to step up and do 1.5 of their own job. You have to do your job, and you have to make sure that that replacement is doing his job. It makes life a lot harder, obviously, not only on the quarterback, but the running backs, the wide receiver, and everybody involved offensively. And you need these guys to be completely 100% healthy all season long. You can't have these breaks where you're losing 2 of these guys at the same time, and you can't really replace that. That's what it's all about. These guys have been the beasts up front, and if they continue to be healthy and they continue to be as good as they can be, this offense will click. If they do not click and they do not figure things out and they're injured, this offense will not be very good.
Yeah, it all starts up
front. I like the fact that he acknowledged that the offense was bad last year.
Yeah, it definitely was. And look, the last week there was a day game for the Phillies. You weren't here. I was by myself for a little while, and we were talking about the ceiling and the floor for the Eagles offense in 2026. And when we were looking at how good the offense could be or how bad the offense can be, I kept coming back to the offensive line as being the starting point for it. And you were a big proponent of that all season last year, saying, hey, it doesn't really matter. Kevin Patullo, did he do a great job? No. Did Jalen Hurts have a great season? No. Did Saquon Barkley have the same season he had in 24? No. But it all stemmed from the offensive line not being healthy. If you don't have a good offensive line, I don't care who your quarterback is, who your running back is, who your offensive coordinator is, who your wide receiver core is, that offensive line is where it's going to start, and they better be better than they were last year. And it comes down to health. I get it. Landon Dickerson probably shouldn't have been out there. Cam Jurgens probably shouldn't have been out there, but you don't have a lot of depth along that offensive line. So you need all of these guys to be better. And if they are, so let's assume in the positive here for a second, Ricky, that the offensive line is healthy. Well, now that allows you to get to how good Sean Mannion? How good is this offense going to be? What is it going to look like? Is Jalen Hurts going to be able to adapt to it? Do they have enough weapons on the outside without A.J. Brown? Is Saquon Barkley going to have a monster year again? Well, one of the things Lane was asked was his first impressions of the Sean Mannion offense. Here he is on that.
Man, super smart guy. So he played with Isaac in college at Oregon State. So I obviously asked Isaac about him, but him being here at this age, you're not going to be here without a brilliant offensive mind. But he's very good with players, very personable, and we see what his vision is, and we're still picking up learning stuff through film. And Wade Green Bay did it when he's in Green Bay, but he's very good, very assertive, very big on communication. So we're just getting started. We'll turn it up more in training camp, but yeah, I'm just really excited what we could be and what this offense could be.
What it could be, and when I look at this offense over the last 5 years with Jalen Hurts, I think that this offense could be, not saying it will be, but it could be, if everything goes in the positive and not the negative, you could be talking about an offense whose ceiling is better than the 2022 offense. Because the 2022 offense was probably the best we've ever seen Jalen Hurts. They had a top 10 passing attack, a top 5 rushing attack. They were in the tops of the league in scoring. I think this offense, if the offensive line's healthy and Sean Mannion is as advertised and Devontae Smith's able to step up and be the number 1 wide receiver, and you get that 1-2 punch with Saquon and Tank Bigsby, like, this offense has a ceiling higher than 2022. But there's a lot that has to happen.
Well, I would think so. I mean, you look at the roster, you look at the names. They have plenty of names. They have plenty of guys that are playmakers. I mean, isn't that what you look for? You look for playmakers. You got Saquon Barkley, you got Jalen Hurts, you have Dallas Goedert, and you have Devontae Smith. That's 4 just throwing them out there without any reason. Yeah, I think this team could really put up numbers. And I think the one thing they want to get back to is to be feared offensively. And it is everyone. It is 11 guys that go out there. We know where it starts. The next guy on the list would be Jalen Hurts. Okay, can Jalen adapt to the new scheme that Mannion's bringing in here? If he does that, then this offense is going to be feared by a lot of teams. And you know what good offenses do? It makes their defenses better because it keeps them off the field a lot of the time. Remember that.
And you know what I loved in that answer from Lane that we just played too? It's something we heard from Jalen Hurts. Vision. Sean Mannion is able to tell these players what his vision is. And you heard Lane say it. You heard Jalen say it. I remember hearing Jalen a couple weeks ago talking about how he's able to explain his vision. He's able to explain the purpose behind the things he's doing. And I think that's half the battle. Like, if you're able to get these guys on board because they understand, one, that you have a vision. Like, I'm not so sure Kevin Patullo had a vision. Like, was Kevin Patullo ever able to articulate what their vision was for the offense? It never seemed like there was any rhyme or reason to the play calling. It felt like they were just picking out of a hat at times what the plays were that they were calling.
Do you feel as though Kevin Patullo ever got to his game plans? Like, do you ever feel like he was controlling that offense?
No.
When you go back to, I don't feel like he was controlling the offense at all.
No, you're correct on that. And it's nice to hear, though, like from a veteran guy like Lane and Jalen, who's had a ton of success in this league, for them to be talking about a first-time play caller in a way they've talked about Mannion. You keep hearing how smart he is. He's this offensive genius. But just because you're an offensive genius doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to communicate that genius to the players. It sounds like Mannion also has an ability to communicate, not to steal Cool Hand Luke line, but has an ability to communicate with his players so that they can understand the method to the madness. Like, I'm getting excited about the offense. I know it's only June 9th, but I'm getting excited about what we might see come August and September.
We're not going to see it till September.
Yeah, you're probably right. Not in the preseason.
I think we're going to see a little fraudulent offense in the preseason, and then you'll see the real thing come out on opening day, and that's the one day that everybody's going to wait for. Boom.
But you know who did see a little bit of it today?
Andrew DeCecco is my guess.
Yes, sir. And Andrew DeCecco, who was down at practice today, will be joining us at 5 o'clock to talk about everything he saw. But this 4 o'clock hour is brought to you by who, Sylvanna?
Rosenbaum Injury Law. If you've been injured, don't settle for less because winning means everything. Call Rosenbaum and Associates today for a free consultation.
Rosenbaum. All right, here's what we got coming up next. You can still weigh in your biggest questions for the 2026 Eagles as they start mandatory minicamp. Send them in. Davis Honda text line. Get your voice memos in on that and anything you want to tell us on our 1-year anniversary. 610-632-0975. I know a lot of people are over the A.J. Brown conversation. They want to turn the page to who's here. But if you missed it earlier, A.J. Brown was down at the facility on Thursday. He signed a picture of himself on the wall, and then he left a message with it. If you haven't seen this yet, you're going to want to hear this, and then we'll talk about it coming up next. Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Now back to Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, I am waiting, Ricky, to get absolutely attacked on social media. I went on that rant earlier about how bad Knicks fans are. Dylan clipped it and just posted it to Instagram and everywhere on social media. Knicks fans are going to just come after me. But they deserve to be called out for what they did last night.
I think what's going to happen is just honesty. I think a lot of Knicks fans don't do that. And I think they're going to blame it on a group that is not necessarily them. You know what I mean?
Well, look, I'm sure not all Knicks fans are like that, but there's enough of them, and there's too many of them.
Well, in every fan base, you have bad apples, but this was way too many bad apples. This was...
Yeah.
I mean, this was like a town full of bad apples.
Yeah, it was terrible. In the Big Apple.
I mean,
how many apples we got?
It's just asinine. Like, what is that getting you besides jail time? What is that really getting you? What satisfaction is really happening here?
It's stupid. It's stupid.
I don't know. There's like no fear anymore of actions.
So if you missed the rant,
you change the laws, you do something stupid like that, you go away for 10 years and they throw away the key.
Yeah. If you missed the rant, I'm not going to repeat it. Go check out on social. You go to my Instagram, Bill Colarulo, or 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's get to this A.J. Brown stuff for those who missed it. So, A.J., I have told you, was loved in the building. Like, from everyone I spoke to, he was loved. Well, apparently on Thursday, he went down to the facility to clear out some things, and Mike Garafolo reported on NFL Network what he did, and this I don't agree with. Listen to this.
A.J. Brown closed the chapter on his time in Philadelphia because he was there at the facility last week. I believe it was Thursday. He was there to pick up some stuff at the facility and say his goodbyes. And on the walls there, they have pictures of Pro Bowl players. A.J. signed his. They have the players sign it. So he signed it, and then from what I was told, he then added, "The best to ever play here, always open." Now, that signature is going to stay up on the wall. They may have to edit out the message as well. But and no hard feelings or anything like that. It's just he had his affinity for the time that he played in Philadelphia, and they still love him. There's still a lot of love for him inside that building.
All right, I agree with Carafolo. There is still a lot of love for him in that building. But you do that, the best to ever play here after you asked to be traded? Like, we're going to debate in a second whether he's right in saying he's the best to ever play there. That's a different argument. You can't do that on your way out, man. And as much as I've stood up for AJ and I've said, listen, he wasn't as bad of a teammate as people were making him out to be, and everyone loved him down there. This is just being, I was going to say a word I can't say on
Smug?
the air.
Say it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's being a bleep hole. But you know what I mean? It's like being a jerk on your way out. You don't need what benefit does he have of putting that out there that now it's being reported that he's calling himself the best to ever play there as he's on his way up to New England?
You know what this is going to do? Open up a new can of worms of why he wanted to leave.
He kept it
I guarantee it. Why shouldn't it? He went in there, put that up there for a reason. What is his reasoning for putting that up on the wall? Does he firmly believe that, or was he trying to prove a point to somebody?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you didn't.
Who's he trying to prove a point to?
Who's he sending a message to?
I think he has to be sending a message to someone with that. Absolutely.
100%. He went in there to do that, to be a jerk.
Well, you know what I'm thinking is, you remember that clip, it went viral, of right before Super Bowl 57. No, excuse me, Super Bowl 59. Jalen Hurts is walking through the tunnel, and they show him looking up at the ESPN broadcast, and everyone's picking the Chiefs, and you see Jalen kind of just nod to himself like, okay, that's what you think? I could see Jalen and Devontae walking past the A.J. Brown picture on the wall. Best to ever play here? Okay. We'll see how it goes this year. Like, this is going to be motivation for guys like Devontae Smith.
I think so. Even a rookie, too, like Lemon.
I understand where you're coming from, but why? Why would you do something like that? To put more focus on yourself? Or were you sending that to somebody in that locker room?
It's absolutely.
Well, there would only be one person he would be sending that message to.
That's my whole
And it's the quarterback.
He just reopened up a can of worms.
Or
because he wants it open.
I could stir the pot even more and say, maybe is it a shot at Nick Sirianni?
No, I think, listen, I know that a lot of people who don't like to point the focus to Jalen, point to Nick. I don't believe AJ and Nick Sirianni had any issues at all. Like, I know he rolled his eyes that time. I think it was after was it Buffalo game? I forget which one it was, where he rolled his eyes at what Nick was doing. Everything I've been told for years now is that AJ and Nick Sirianni got along extremely, extremely well. But I was also told that AJ and Jalen didn't. Like, it has been universal from everything that I have been told from people with the Eagles that the issue is Jalen and AJ. Doesn't mean Jalen is wrong. I'm not choosing sides here, but that's where the issue lies. So if he was sending a message, I don't think it was to Sirianni. I don't think it was to the front office. I don't think it was to anybody else on that team. If he was sending a message, it was to the quarterback, or we might even be looking too much into this. No. Maybe this is just AJ having a high opinion of himself.
No.
I mean, he certainly does.
I'm sure he does, but to do that knowing that these guys are going to see it every day, come on. Come on.
I think that, all we've heard as well is that everything that he's done has been intentional. The way that he was posting and also speaking or not speaking to the media was intentional. I think this was intentional in some way, shape, or form, and it's probably like, hey, Jalen Hurts, you had the best receiver to ever play here, and you didn't want to get me the ball. You didn't utilize me enough. And now I'm gone.
And now what are you going to do? What are you going to do without me now?
But here's the other side of the coin. The only reason why we're even debating, and we had this conversation earlier, about whether or not AJ was the best to ever do it as a wide receiver is because of what Jalen Hurts did for him those first 2 years. Like, AJ Brown in 22 and 23 has the most yards in a single season, 1 and 2 in franchise history. Was someone else throwing him the ball? Did I miss this? Did I miss another quarterback getting Jalen the ball getting AJ the ball those 2 years?
That's not the point. This whole thing was done very calculated. He did this on purpose. He did this to get somebody's goat. He's trying to get under somebody's skin within that locker room. You know who it is, Bill.
Yeah, it's Jalen. Yeah, it's Jalen.
He's trying to get under his skin. Why else would you do something like that?
Now, whatever his reasoning was behind it, is he correct? And Ricky and I went back and forth on this a little earlier in the show, and I think if you look at careers, you can't say AJ has had the best career in franchise history because that would go to Harold Carmichael.
He hasn't had enough time.
If you're just looking at a 4-year span, AJ. Like, AJ's had the best 4 years of any wide receiver in franchise history. I don't think that is debatable. But if we're looking at the best wide receiver to ever put on an Eagles uniform, even for a brief period of time, I think Terrell Owens in the 2004 season was the best I've ever seen play the position. That year was magical until Roy Williams does the horse collar tackle and breaks his damn ankle. I'll never forget that. It was like we saw a ghost. I don't know if you were here back then, Ricky. I think you were still in the league, though, right? You were still playing in the bigs in 2004 or no?
Yes.
So I don't know if you remember it well, but like that season, everything's firing on all cylinders. The offense looks tremendous. Terrell Owens looks unstoppable. McNabb's playing great. Westbrook's playing great. The defense is playing well. And then against the Cowboys, Roy Williams does the horse collar tackle, and you see T.O. limping off the field. And it's like, oh, my God. Like, you got to be kidding me. And then they figure out a way to still win and get to the Super Bowl. Freddie Mitchell, I remember, had a big game against the Vikings that year, and then that's the Algie Crumpler, Brian Dawkins hit in the NFC Championship game against the Falcons. That was awesome. T.O. comes out, plays in the Super Bowl. McNabb might have thrown up, might not have.
I'm embarrassed.
But anyway, I think that was the best. If we're going just best wide receiver ever, it's got to be T.O. It's got to be. Now, I think some of the old-timers might be yelling at me that Harold Carmichael, even for a single season, was better. I just maybe don't remember him well enough. But, Ricky, you still putting D-Jacks up there? You still loving D-Jack?
I like D-Jack. You don't. That's fine with me. I don't care.
I love Deshaun. I love Deshaun. I still take T.O., though.
He had the speed to break anything off at any time. I mean, miracle at the Meadowlands twice. What more can you ask for somebody? He was a guy that could spread the defense more than anybody else in a long time. What was his name? Tyreek Hill. He was Tyreek Hill. Same type of player, same type of situation.
Yeah, D-Jax was fun to watch. All right, we got our man Andrew DeCecco calling us coming up next from mandatory minicamp. He just finished up. I just texted him. He's probably going to be in his car. Just left after talking to the players, watching practice. So he'll be our eyes and ears. But I want to do a big shout out right now. So it's our 1-year anniversary, and we just got a text. Apparently, we got a big fan. Our man Bobby from Pennsylvania. He watches the show every single day. He's wishing us a happy anniversary. He wished me a happy birthday. Bobby, we want to give you a big thank you for being a fan of the show from day one. Thank you, Bobby, from Pennsylvania. All right, coming up next, Andrew DeCecco joins us. What did he see at practice today? I can't wait for this conversation.
Checkmate.
AD, coming up next, Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.